Panasonic has just announced an exciting new addition to its Lumix G range, the Panasonic Lumix GH5S. The GH5S sits alongside its flagship camera, the GH5. However, it has some compelling new features that will really appeal to some filmmakers. So in this video, we'll dig a little bit deeper and take a closer look at the brand new GH5S. On the surface, the GH5S looks very similar to the GH5, sharing the same body design, weather sealing and control design layout. The GH5S also incorporates incredible video recording capabilities previously introduced on the GH5, such as 10-bit 422, 400 megabits per second, all intra directly to the SD card, as well as other professional video tools such as Zebra and waveform monitors, dual high-speed SD card slots, and unlimited recording time capabilities. The GH5S is not a replacement, but rather a variation on the GH5, designed especially for the videographer looking for enhanced low-light video performance, as well as higher frame rate capabilities for even slower slow motion, and also the ability to timecode with other cameras such as broadcast system cameras for a more professional shoot environment. So, let's break down these differences one by one in a little more detail. At its heart, the GH5S has a much different image sensor to that of the GH5. It is a 10.2 megapixel sensor, providing enough resolution for stunning 4K imagery. It also has the increased benefit of larger pixels. In fact, they're nearly twice the size of those pixels in the GH5. This increases the light sensitivity of the pixels and therefore improving low-light video performance. The GH5S inherits some incredible technology from Panasonic's broadcast system cameras, and it's called Dual Native ISO. Now this allows you to shoot a much cleaner image while using much higher ISO values. Essentially, there are two circuits on the GH5S's sensor. One is optimized for regular shooting like any G-series camera. However, there's a second circuit that kicks in when you go into a darker situation requiring better performance and higher ISO levels. Now this all sounds rather technical, so let's just take a look at these two shots and you can see the difference for yourself. You can see with the GH5 clip that as we progress through the ISO range, as you'd expect, the image gets noisier. This is completely normal for any camera. However, you can see with the GH5S clip that as it approaches ISO 3200, the image is still clean, and it maintains more than a 2-stop advantage over the GH5. Even at ISO 6400 or 12800, the image still looks great. This alone is the biggest feature and advantage the GH5S has compared to the GH5. And for some of you, it'll be a compelling feature you'll need to have in your kit. However, the GH5 still has its own significant advantages, so it really depends on your style of videography and the needs you have to deliver the content that you wish to shoot. The GH5S increases its variable frame rate options in Full HD from 180 frames per second to 240 frames per second. Now this is quite a big jump in slow motion capability. You can see here an example of the differences in playback speed between 180 frames per second and 240 frames per second. The GH5S allows for 60 frames per second in Cinema 4K. Now this gives you a 2.5 times slowdown for Cinema 4K slow motion footage. The GH5S comes bundled with a cable that connects to the flash sync port that enables timecode in and out. With this, you can connect to timecode generators and interface with other broadcast cameras and equipment in the studio, essential for multicam studio shoots. So, at this point, you're probably wondering whether you need the GH5 or the GH5S. So to make things a little easier, I've broken down the biggest strengths of both cameras. Let's have a look. The GH5S has incredible low light shooting quality, higher variable frame rate options, timecode in and out capabilities, and Vlog-L is also pre-installed. The GH5 features dual IS2 stabilization for amazing handheld run and gun shooting, high-resolution anamorphic mode, a high-resolution sensor which is beneficial for photography and also for 6K photo mode. If you're a hybrid content creator who shoots both stills and video, and particularly run and gun style shooting, the GH5 is probably the ideal choice for you. If you're a professional videographer or a filmmaker and you like to get your cameras in rigs such as sliders, gimbals and tripods, etc., then the GH5S may very well be the ideal choice for you. So as you can see, the GH5S has amazing all-round video capabilities for the filmmaker. If you'd like any more information on the GH5S or any of our products, head on over to panasonic.com.au.